Welcome to another episode of Around the Mic. My name is Rick. Today I have Aaron and Beth with me, and we'll be discussing our opinions on this past week's gaming news. Starting off, have a little bit of Windows 10 news. Looks like for older games that use some DRM, secure ROM specifically, Windows 10 says, nope, can't play you anymore, you're just too old. I don't think it's a real big issue since we're talking about games that were like 2003 to 2008. But I do have some older games in my library that I do like to go back and visit from time to time. So to hear that there's not really anything they can do about the DRM from back then and the way it might operate on a modern system, I guess is not enough incentive to do that.
Well, I bet they could. I just wonder how much that's.
Well, you have to. Yeah, I was gonna say you have to look at how cost effective that's going to be. Look, how many people are you going to support, and how much money is that going to cost your company? So, and if you're a company that's supposed to be a technology company and moving forward, how far do you want to go backwards to?
Right.
I mean, you have to let go of the past at some point. I'm sorry, gamers. I know we love love our nostalgia, but I mean, it's kind of like the deal with the Xbox and the backwards compatibility.
Glad you brought that up.
Because
but they
we
solved
didn't
that.
like it.
But they're solving that, or they're trying to at least.
Yes, but we kind of bit ourselves, in the ass because we could have had something a lot better than what we got, and I, for one, kind of regret that I was upset originally about the Xbox not being able to do that. Them changing it.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, as far as that goes, with me, it was always more about the always online. Some of the original features is what made me more mad about that. More
the
so.
Always on Connect.
I mean, at first, the digital only games were kind of like, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, that's true too. I wasn't as familiar with using the digital only system.
And now I'm all about it.
With
so it's
games,
just
I wasn't sure how it would work.
I remember that. We did talk about that early, about how you rather have a tangible copy of your game, and now...
Well, I'm just tired of having shit in my house.
That's
really what it's boiled down to.
Right? I was really going to miss being able to, borrow games or swap games with friends, but, I didn't know the full details because they really didn't market it all that well to explain what the actual sharing and being able to do it all digitally was. And I'll tell you, now that there's games starting to come out that I actually want to purchase for my Xbox One instead of tearing up free games because they've been a lot better lately, I find myself asking, well, do I really want to wait for a physical copy or do I just want to pre-order a code?
Right.
And I can pre-download with the code so I can start as soon as it's open.
Yeah, but the problem with that too, though, is that with whenever you have the digitals, very rarely do you catch those on sale, at least on the consoles. With PCs, it's not so much of a problem.
But that's the thing. Now you don't even have to just get it digitally through your console store or through Xbox or PlayStation. You can go to a number of online retailers and they are offering to sell codes.
It is. They do sell the codes, but they're still locked in usually at the same price as what you would pay if you would just download it from the console.
Yeah, but then you go, it's all the pre-order game at that point. Who's got the pre-order that you want?
Well, right. If you're talking about pre-orders, sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's...
I mean, even just because, a lot of times, my mom's a gamer, will play games to where it'll be older games that she's never even heard of that I'm introducing her to. So she'll go to look to see if she can download it, and then it'll still be like $30 to download, and it's like a 7-8-year-old game, and it's like, no, Mom, I can go online and order you this game for $5.
Yeah.
Just let me order it; it'll be here in a couple of days.
So it seems like
that's one of the few problems that I have with the digital only downloads is eventually it's going to lock in the price structure, which we've enjoyed having a little bit laxed, but. Stop.
Well, maybe it just needs to catch up, and I don't know that it will ever, but maybe it'll need to catch up to the PC model for digital distribution as far as pricing goes. Maybe they're just a little inflexible with that right now.
But I don't think they'd have to be though, because you're gonna have more console gamers than PC gamers, so therefore you're gonna have the price slashes for the PC.
The incentives to get it digitally,
right?
But that's what I'm saying though. Maybe they're just not open to that idea yet at this point, since digital distribution on consoles is just.
So actually, this week, in some more Gears news with the new remake, not new remake, it's a remake and a new version of the old first game. They're going to have a Gears Pro League tournament. You get a team together, you can go register online, and then there's like a preseason that they're going to have where they're working out the kinks because this is kind of new. They're partnering with Twitch, so it will be broadcasted as well.
Oh.
And there's going to be cash prizes for the first preseason time frame. And then they're going to take the top teams from that and move on to a regular season, which runs for about 2 months. And then the top teams from that will move into a finals bracket. And then the winner of that, actually, there's a $50,000 prize. So a lot of Gears gamers have been wanting to have a pro league or, professional.
They haven't signed up yet.
Actually, I've just found out about it, but I got to get my squad together. I've had a few people that I've been running Gears with since Gears 1 originally came out. We've talked about doing pro gaming before, so I don't know. You might see me on there.
So you'll have to forgive my ignorance because I'm not a Gears player.
Yeah.
So is it not already used in any kind of competitive fashion?
Not really. I think there was problems with the way that weapons were balanced in the game and just certain things with the gameplay itself, and I guess the options that you were able to make. Some of the games you couldn't have like private rooms and make all the default settings the way that it would be tournament friendly. Yeah, I guess that's what the problem was. It hasn't been tournament friendly, but now with the upgrades that they're doing and with the new system and everything, I think, and plus you've got almost 10 years of this game being out, and gamers who absolutely love shotgun battles and who have been dying to have a tournament. And this one is officially sponsored, so I think you'll see a lot of people jumping into this. People have been wanting it for a long time.
Well, that's good. I mean, anytime you can organize something like that, but around the popular franchise, you will get lots of participation in that, lots of eagerness to get involved with that. I'm curious though. So they're going to pick from a pool of teams to be start the real, like the post preliminary, bug shaking or whatever it is that they're trying to do in the beginning. So are they going to do anything for those teams that don't get selected to go into the real start of the competition?
Well, that whole preseason, there are cash prizes up for grabs.
Okay.
So that whole time you can be winning money.
Okay.
Even before you get into the actual season. I'm not sure exactly how all the details. They haven't really released it. And even if you go to GearsOfWar.com, they've got all the details that are available right now, which is how to sign up, and they have a base schedule of what's going on. But yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to break it down completely, but I just think it's great. It's something that the fans have been wanting, and Epic, or not Epic, but the Coalition, who's now making the Gears game. I think this is a step in the right direction for marketing to take the franchises, and it's nice to kind of finally have somebody back in charge of the franchise who actually cares about the franchise and wants it to do well and is getting back to its game fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, I think, a nod to that.
Oh yeah, I agree. It seems like they're trying to do right by their fans. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So what was this I saw about a Chat-roulette first-person shooter?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have watched. It's like a 10-minute video of these. I guess this group of friends got together and decided that instead of going to Chat-roulette and seeing dick pics all day, let's go and give people something interactive to do and maybe be at least feel productive with Chat-roulette. And they did a really great job. Basically, they took their house and set it up like a first-person shooter map. It even goes outside the house and into another building, and they've got people dressed as zombies. And when you get to this room, apparently it's just like the guy with his 2 hands, and there's a health bar at the top of the screen, and the gun, and it doesn't have a gun, but it's got the rest of the HUD at the bottom, and it says press start, and that's all it does is flashes at them, and then once they hit the button, the guy starts talking to them. And they're telling him what to do, and he's going through and doing what they say. Like he says turn left, they go left.
I was going to ask about the controls.
Yeah, no, you just tell him what to do, and he does it. And you run out of ammo. One chick was like, throw the gun, so he throws the gun.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
That's great.
And if they're doing some stupid stuff, he will talk trash. And it was really interesting to see somebody take video games and kind of turn it it wasn't completely professionally made. It looked, I'm not wanting to say cheap, but it looked like it was just practical, and it worked. So, I mean, they had a number of people that they got, and honestly, these people probably don't spend half as much time on a chat roulette with somebody as they did playing this FPS game that somebody made.
Right, gotcha.
Definitely neat concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just shows like what all is capable with the technology that we have now.
Well, it almost reminds me of that movie Gamer. I don't know if you all ever saw that.
Yeah,
to where
yes.
people could control the other.
Yeah, you had like
people
one
through the
person controlling a
nanobots.
prisoner.
Yeah.
He was like a prisoner or something, and he was the one that was out in all the danger. And yeah, it was kind of like that, though not quite so dangerous.
So Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, what did you find of interest this week in gaming news?
I saw that, and first of all, who even knew it was still around, but EverQuest 2 is introducing a new concept to deal with trolls, which I'm always in favor for, because I absolutely despise internet trolls. But, yeah, anybody that breaks any of their rules, they have now constructed a prison server for them, to where their entire account, all of their characters...
Is it called Alcatraz? Please tell me it's called Alcatraz. Oh, what a missed opportunity.
But, yeah, they send an account there, and pretty much you're banished there to play with all the other cheaters and trolls and people that break the rules. You still have to pay for your account, but you don't get any customer support after that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
it's like I was like, oh, they're serious, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess if you're cheating and glitching to do stuff in the game, then why do you?
You don't deserve exactly.
You broke the terms of service.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true.
Exactly. So I think it's a great idea, especially just because I've played a lot of MMOs and you run into those people and they ruin the experience. Or Grand Theft Auto 5.
The balance is completely skewed. There's no fun. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's a great idea. People can actually petition to go there if you didn't
really
like if you just wanted to check it out, but they made it clear it's a one-way trip. Like once your characters are there, they cannot come out. Period. Because at that point it disables customer service, so there's no way to get it back.
So when they put them on this prison server, maybe this is just a facetious question for me to ask. Are they still allowed to play in the same fashion that got them in trouble to begin with? Or
yeah, it's no rules.
Gotcha.
Like they said, if you want to do it, fine, because you're going to do it whether we tell you to or not. Then go do it here.
Right.
And this is
That's probably actually smart because they're still generating revenue from these people, and these people are still able to do the crap that they want to do that everybody else hates. So I mean, I guess it's kind of a win-win.
That they're still willing to pay if it's like a monthly fee game. That they're still willing to pay. However much a month to be able to go in there and try to make other people's lives miserable online. Although that's what everybody's trying to do to each other on that cheat server, I imagine.
Yeah. Right. Well, at the same time, I mean, it's kind of smart from a developer side because you have people who are going to be in there purposefully trying to break things and get around things and come up with all these glitches. It may even down the road help them improve their game at the same time.
You know what I think could be an interesting concept, and this is really outside the box, but I don't know if it would work in EverQuest 2, but if you were to have some kind of a prison server, maybe you could somehow incorporate that into the actual game itself, saying, in other words, maybe you have some crazy deep mission that you need to go into the prison server to complete, undercover or something like that. I'm just throwing an idea out here, but it's obviously just a one-way trip to get in and come back out though. Kind of like I'm thinking maybe Escape from New York or something like that.
Well, right, yeah, you're thinking
that's like a whole nother game.
Yeah, right.
But I realize
you're thinking more of it as like a zone.
Kind of like that, yeah.
And it's not. It's when you log in.
Oh, no. I understand that's how it is right now, but I wonder if someone could somehow find a way to do that effectively.
Well, I mean, it could be done because, like, with the Final Fantasy 11, you could change servers. You could pay to change servers.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 11 came out before 14.
Well, I know. Well, that's why I was talking about the new.
But then even when they merge servers, so even without people requesting it, they could put you on a different server.
In our second piece of Windows 10 news, looks like they've upgraded their streaming capabilities with the release of Windows 10. Now we're going to get full 1080p, 60 frames per second to stream from the Xbox to PC with Windows 10, of course. that'll be nice. I mean, it'll look much nicer for the people who utilize that service.
Which is growing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Once I realized exactly what was involved with that you could, someone could be using the Xbox One to stream a movie or something like that, but you could still use your Xbox One to play a game on your PC at the same time. I thought, well, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Right.
And you don't have to have a powerful PC to do that, just because the Xbox One's doing all the number crunching, essentially.
Which is because it's pretty much a PC at this point.
Yeah, you're right. And to finish up this week's episode, some slightly interesting big news, I guess, kind of. Final Fantasy VII's finally coming to iOS.
Yep.
All the other ones are. Might as well have 7.
Yeah,
Right.
I noticed that when I was looking them up on, unfortunately, my Kindle. Can't get it, but they had like 4 or 5 in the 6. I'm like, no, I need to play 7.
I'm sure an Android version will be
I'm
out
sure
before
it'll be
long.
rolled out soon, but that is pretty cool that they're probably just trying to get people interested since the remake has been announced as well.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce new people to it.
Introduce people to it. And it seems like this day and age of technology, it seems like mobile games almost get people sucked in a little bit easier than a console or
because they've always
PC.
got a phone with them.
Right, exactly.
So it just makes sense.
And I know that as much as I hate it, mobile gamers are getting a bigger chunk of the gaming pie now. So I mean, it's great if it's going to help Final Fantasy be more successful than what they have been recently. Then they can bring back some good games. I'm all about it.
Right, it'll generate that excitement again that we all had for when we were playing the originals.
Yeah.
I did see that also with that on the Final Fantasy vein is they released on iOS and Android the Triad game from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh,
It's
the
like,
card game.
Okay.
yeah, it's like a standalone now to where they released the card
That's
game.
smart.
Well, card games are very popular.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great one
So,
to make an app
yeah,
for.
yeah,
And
sure.
they've added some new features to it, and it's basically
I was horrible with that game.
really.
I tried.
Yeah, once you had to find the cards. Once you
That's-
found the good cards, you were all right.
That's
But
true.
that was the biggest part of it.
The card game in Witcher 3 called Gwent. Every opportunity I get to play that, I'm on it. It's fun. It's cool that they're including little meta games like that.
Yeah, I miss mini games and games.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're not too overboard.
Right, of course.
I miss my golden saucer.
Right. Well, you'll get to play it once more.
Alright.
Right.
I actually played that game through again just to get to the golden saucer, and then I stopped there so I could just stay there forever.
Right.
And-
So I was reading some comments that were talking about that, and they were like, "I went back to play that, and it wasn't as good as I remember."
No,
it
that's
being."
crap.
Right.
That's crap. I mean, the graphics aren't there, but wait for the remake because I'm going to be living in that golden saucer.
Right.
Positive.
Well, because
Hope
in
it
this
will
day and
racing for
age,
life.
they're going to have all kinds of extra stuff that you've not seen. I'm sure.
I can't wait to
So-
see the Chocobo racing. I think it's going to be. so
Wouldn't it be
fun.
cool if in the remake, they made the Golden Saucer the only multiplayer area
Yeah.
That would be
of the new
cool.
Final Fantasy remake? So you could chocobo race with somebody else, or get somebody
That
else.
would because you have to raise your chocobos
Right,
too.
yeah.
So you could be racing other people's chocobos. I would be about that.
Yeah.
Although
that's a
I
good
will say
idea.
I do also miss the battle arena. That was one of my absolute
Oh
favorite
yeah,
things to do.
square off against other players too. Like that.
I don't know.
No?
I'm gonna get my butt kicked there.
I like that the AI.
It depends if we're both small and have no ribbons. I'm just saying.
Gotcha,
If I
gotcha.
go in there without a ribbon, you're dead.
Well, I believe that wraps up this week's episode of Around the Mic. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again next week. Until then, keep gaming. I gotta find a different way to end that shit, because keep gaming